Hello, my friends. It's Andy coming to you live from Yorba Linda, California for the Andy Falco Show. Wow, what a couple days we've had. So much fun and so much interesting things have been happening around this community of the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District area, the Yorba Linda community, the Placentia community. Just it's just been a lot of fun. It's very interesting. But again, for the basis of this particular show, we're going to be talking about why the Togos Anaheim Hills incident, is what I'm calling it, is so important. And so let me give you a little background. And I'm so sorry that my internet is really weak right now. And I'm not sure why that is, because I'm only like 3 feet away from it. It should not be this week. So if you jump on and it's a little bit shaky, let me know. And maybe we will restart this and do it a different way. Now I'm recording live to my computer, so I will be releasing a cleaner version a little bit later on. So in case it's a little bit choppy, it'll be a little bit. All right. So a few days ago, a mom in a group called Yorba Linda Moms, she writes a post attacking a company called Togos, which is, of course, a sandwich shop. This one happens to be in Anaheim Hills on East La Palma in Anaheim. And I'm going to read you her comment. But I first want to lay a little bit of background first as to the importance of understanding why talking about this publicly is so important. Because for the last, at least the last 5 years or so, as myself and other parents in this area have been paying attention to what the old regime, the old administration of the PYLUSD has been doing, and we've been shedding light on some of the nonsense and the incompetence of the last administration at the local school district. We being a group of parents, and now some of those people are on the school board, been attacked relentlessly in not only public forums like the Placentia Buzz, for instance, which is a public Facebook page. And then in these private groups, one called Yorba Linda Moms, you got Placentia Buzz. And again, I'm probably not getting them all straight as to which are groups and which ones are pages, but there is a number of them. And what has happened over the last several years is that members, because they have hundreds, if not thousands, of the Yorba Linda Moms, which I'm going to be discussing most often today, almost 5,000 members. I think it's 4,900 or something like that. Something very close to that. Don't quote me exactly, but it's nearly 5,000 members, which is a large portion of the community. So Yorba Linda Moms has been attacking myself and a number of other community members. And again, the current school board members, which are Leander Blades, Todd Frazier, and Sean Youngblood, Dr. Chernice, and some of his executive staff, endlessly calling them names and threatening them, and calling Andrea a murderer and calling her an insurrectionist, to calling Todd Frazier a Christian nationalist and bigot, and self, a whole number of names. And not that big of a deal. I'm just a community member. I'm not on the board, but some really nasty names, creepy, and cutting videos to say that I have naked girls, young girls from the local schools on my computer, sending those types of things to the superintendent. And again, it goes on. And it's a handful of people, understand. So there's nearly 5,000 people in the Yorba Linda Moms. There's a handful of I don't even want to call them moms. I don't think some of them are moms. At least a basic research investigation of them, I do not believe that they're moms. But many of them are. But they have no problem attacking hard-working, retired police officers like Leander Blades and fire personnel like Sean Youngblood, and accountants like Todd Frazier and Dr. Chernice, who are doing everything they can to bring education back to a district that's lost its way over the last several years. That only people that are actually doing their job competently do they attack, and do so relentlessly, and try to get businesses closed, and harm them in so many different ways. And so you have this mother in Yorba Linda Moms. And I'm going to get to where this information comes from. I'm not a part of Yorba Linda Moms. I'm going to talk about how they took my wife out of Yorba Linda Moms. I don't know if she knows this yet. Haven't talked to her about it. I didn't even know she was on Yorba Linda Moms, but I'll show you that they took her off amongst a bunch of other people that don't agree with them. So you have a handful of people who write nonsense nonstop about people, attacking them, attacking my children, attacking my business, which I will show you proof of that happening. But yet, when you read something that they wrote, they go crazy. They go nuts, and they attack even further. So enough of all that. So I'm going to go to this post that's written in Yorba Linda Moms, and it starts with just wanted to vent. My 19-year-old daughter had been working for Togos for her first job. With the pay increased to $20 an hour, the minimum wage got increased to $20 an hour. The owner is now cutting their staff hours to only 2.2 to 2.5 hours per day. Despite being told she's the best employee, according to her, they ever had. She came home in tears, frustrated. It takes her 30 minutes each way to ride her bike to get there. So not really worth an hour of commute. The kid's riding her bike. You should be happy. For 2 hours per day, being 20 hours per week. Anyone know a place hiring part-time workers in Yorba Linda that won't treat them like this? Again, this on its own was not enough for, it was sent to me in addition to the next post. So that wasn't sent to me, but it is part of something that comes up next. Now, in the next post, it says, any employment attorneys in this group or a referral to one. My daughter who worked at Toga works, and in parentheses, worked. So it's not clear whether she still works there or not at Togos. They just asked her to turn in her key because of my post. Retaliation is illegal. She didn't do anything but a good, consistent worker. But be a good, consistent worker. So she has no problem going into a group that has 5,000 members of mothers who make decisions on what to feed their families quite often in regard to lunch and dinner. And she has no problem attacking this family, owns this business, with something that is not in the business's control. The state of California, Gavin Newsom, increased the minimum wage to $20 an hour, had to reduce hours, or else they would probably have to close. And then she claims, and she doesn't even know whether her daughter works there or not. She says works, and then she says worked at Togos in parentheses. Well, worked's the one in parentheses, and says that she's fired because of in retaliation. But yeah, she shows no proof. She doesn't know. And I'm sure I went by the Togos today to talk to them, but they were having some work done. So apparently there were some plumbing problems they were having. And I would like to know from them if this is true. And again, they probably can't say because it's illegal for a company to release employment information. So I would like to ask them what they think about this particular post. But this is the point. The point is not necessarily, of course, I had to mention that she's all up in arms about something that is out of the company's control, the $20 an hour. If I were to give a whole class to the handful of people who lost their mind because I made this more public than it already is. It's already public because it's in a group of 5,000 people that have to understand that a business has overhead. It has margins that it has to take into consideration because the people that own the business have to be paid at some point. Else, what's the point of opening a business if they don't get paid? But they don't understand this aspect. They want the business to stay in business or to not reduce her hours just because it's her daughter, not understanding that they don't reduce the hours, they can lose everything. And so she doesn't care. So she goes into a page where it has 5,000 people on it and says these horrible things and then threatens them with an attorney in a lawsuit because of what she said or because of what she claims was done. And so this is the reason why this is important. it was important to bring up. So you got this family. So let me just put up their page their photos. And here they are. In 2020, they were struggling because in 2020, if you don't remember, they were coming out of a pandemic. There was a pandemic. And they write, back then, my husband and I have owned Togos at 5642 East La Palma in Anaheim Hills for 22 years. And I really like to make it to 2023. We are still open and ready to make you the perfect sandwich or salad. Come on in and meet our family and pick up some great food. Feel free to call ahead 714-779-8866 and we will have everything waiting for you. So in 2020, they're already worried about being able to stay open, and they're hoping that people will continue to come regardless of what is happening. People are stupid enough to be masked. They're saying that of course, there's all this other stuff going on, and they're going, listen, we're still open. And we need you to understand that it would be really helpful for us to stay open if you would still utilize our services. And so this is a family that lives in our community, obviously, because they have a business in our community, that this woman on Your Belinda Moms decides that she's going to attack with the threat of hiring an attorney, which they're barely making it, isn't it? With inflation, with the price the price of gas, with the price of produce, with the price of everything, and now on top of it, they got to pay $20 an hour to employees. The margins have now become less. They have to make decisions on how do they make the same quality sandwiches and food that people will want to come and utilize their business for these services, and yet still somehow keep some employees. And so their only decision was that, well, we have to reduce the hours. That's the only way we can do this. And we, as the business owners, are probably going to have to work more. And here comes Jen. I won't say her whole name because everybody seems to be losing their mind. But Jen comes in here and says, I'm going to hire an attorney. How dare they reduce my daughter's hours? And you know what? I think they fired her now because of my post in a private group. So she believes that because of this private group, that apparently to all the other people, the other handful of people who have lost their stupid minds, have decided that she can post in this private group and it's okay, but she thinks that they fired her because of this privacy in this group. No, you're not a skiff, right? You posted this information that a large number of people could see, but you don't even have any proof that they fired your daughter because of this particular post. Now, either this group is so wide open that enough people could see it, including the owners of this business, or it's not. All right. So enough about that. So now let's get to these other people. I'm gonna try not to call people names. I'm gonna do my best. Is that you got this person that comes on, Nicole Jenkins, who says, Bonnie Conte, who is the I guess the administrator for Your Belinda Moms. Again, I have no idea. I'm not in Your Belinda Moms. Says, so sad to see a local business owner doing something like this. Hope this mama and her daughter can move on from this with no issues. What do you think she's going to do? She's now going to go to psychiatrist because her hours got reduced. Are you see? So this is why it's so hard for me not to call people names. So you really you really think that. And they also make fun of me because I laugh at this nonsense. Okay, so now they want to create this idea that because the hours are reduced, that this mom and this daughter now need to seek psychiatric help, and they're not somehow going to make it through the day because of this nonsense. Listen, you have a business owner. The minimum wage was increased. You have to make a business decision. The mom should be teaching the daughter, hey, listen, this is how this works in our life, that you will get a job. And it doesn't necessarily mean just because you have a job that they have an obligation. That's the word I'm looking. An obligation to keep you even when times are bad. So this is just how it works, daughter, whatever the name is, that, oh, this is a great lesson. This is a great lesson for you to learn that we have to keep our options open. It's great that you are the best employee that Togos has ever seen in their entire universe, in their entire company. You are fantastic. What you should do before you decide to find another job is get a reference from them. Get them to type out something that says, girl, you are the best employee we've ever had. And it's unfortunate that this minimum wage increase has caused us to reduce the hours. But you know what? She took it like a champ. She understood that we couldn't keep the hours at 20 hours a week. We had to reduce them. But you know what? She was fantastic. She accepted it. She stayed with us and stuck with us during this period of time. She continued to ride her bike. That's a hardship on her. Apparently, it was a hardship for her to write away, and we just want to make sure that anyone knows who's going to hire her, that this is the kind of person you're going to. That she worked hard for us in the good times. She worked hard for us in the lean times, and she continued to come to work. But at some, we understand that she has to find another business. That would be the thing that you would write. You wouldn't take the time to go on into a private group and attack the company and threaten to hire an attorney. So the next little post here that I got. This is from Bonnie Conte talking about me. How did you guys see Yorba Linda Moms? So I'm going to address that one. So Amber Jessica seems to be shocked that out of 5,000 people, that there might not be somebody in there that agrees with Jen attacking this company that's in our community, this business in our community. That there's people going, hey, wait a minute, why is she attacking this company? This family who has a company, that there's not somebody that says, hey, wait a minute. I know this guy who has no problem. He doesn't have any fear of these people attacking him. He's used to it. For 5 years, he's been attacked for bringing out truth. That is the thing, is that they really despise the truth being brought out. And that's why they're attacking me, not because of making stuff up or lying about them or doing anything else. They hate the truth. And so a person sends me a message and says, hey, see this? And I would already said no, because I'm not a Yorba Linda mom. I'm a Yorba Linda dad. And so they send me, again, this is not the only screenshot of this that I got sent. Multiple people sent this to me saying, this is really bad that this woman is attacking this member of the community, has a business that's struggling as it is, and that she's threatening to sue them. And so, number one, I'm not in Yorba Linda Moms. My wife, I didn't know was in Yorba Linda Moms, but and now she's not, because they threw her out because she's associated with me. They've thrown on other people that are associated with me. If they liked any of my posts, they see if they are members of the Yorba Linda Moms group, and they've canceled them and kicked them out. This is the kind of people that are. This is Bonnie Conde, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. This is the kind of person she is. She doesn't care about this family who runs a business in our community. She doesn't care about them. She only cares about whether I agree with her or not. And since her and I don't agree, she's going to cancel anybody that even knows who I am. Apparently, that's her thing. And so I'm in Yorba Linda Moms. I'm like a whistleblower sent me screenshots of the discussion that really hurt them in the way that they go, listen, these people are struggling. And so I'm going to send it to Andy because he doesn't mind sharing it and talking about it publicly. And that's how this all happens. Okay. So the next thing. So let's go back down to now see Bonnie Conte, administrator for Yorba Linda Mom. She writes, Amber Jessica, a little birdie alerted me to the fact this guy's wife was a member of the page. As of yesterday afternoon, she is no longer. Also, anyone who liked that post on his page is no longer here either. I can't with that mean stuff. Really? I'm the mean one? This mom goes on in Yorba Linda Moms. Bonnie does not think that a mom attacking a family who owns a business in our community, who's struggling as it is hit with a $20 an hour mandatory wage that they have to somehow manage. And I'm the mean one. The mom threatens to sue this family because they can't exist on conditions that a state of California has put them under, and the government, with inflation, with the price of gas, with everything else that they have to pay. The overhead is too much to maintain the hours for this woman's daughter. But this woman attacks them. Bonnie Conte has no problem with that. I'm the problem. So what'd she do? She finds out that my wife is in Orlando. She she kicks her out. She finds out anybody who liked my video that may be in the group, and she's kicked them out. But I'm the mean one. All right, Bonnie Conti, you are a piece of work. All right, and so now we have this one here. We got Tamara Evans Converse. Tamara Evans Converse says, "This man-child is ignorant." I get this. This is nothing. I've been called a lot worse. What goes around comes around. He better consider the consequences when he spews out hatred towards people and how it will affect his children. So there she's threatening my children and his Falco Canine Academy business. Not right. Anonymous member, which people love to be anonymous and attack people 100%. So bad. So Tamara Evans there threatens my children and my business and then follows through. She not only threatens them, then she goes on the attack. Again, these are people that are saying that I'm the mean one. And so they attack my business and they write this. So Tamara apparently poses as Dan Walker, or she gets somebody to pose as Dan Walker, and writes 12 minutes ago, which was 12 minutes after that comment in Yorba Linda Moms, or somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe 30 to 12 minutes after. I get this bad review on my business. And so you can see it's business because above that is a positive review. It says I run a bed bug detection dog company and it says Andy Falco's videos on YouTube and use a lot of his techniques. They work. Thank you for the information. So he's talking about me. Below that is this fictitious Dan Walker that says the worst experience, would not recommend. So you got Tamara Evans Converse, who calls to alert, again, the handful of people that have been attacking me and Leander Blades and everybody else for many, many years, and says, okay, go on the attack. This is going to affect Andy's children and Falco Canine Academy business. They then go and write bad review, give me a 1 review, and calls my business the worst experience and would not recommend. Now, number one, I guess she enough to think that I don't know my clients. I know every one of my clients. I have no client named Dan Walker. They are high-end attorneys all over the United States and Canada, which hire me. And not one of them has ever complained about, bad experiences. My business works solely out of referrals. I don't do any advertising. I do speak at certain events on time to time, but it's all word of mouth. And so she has decided that she's going to pretend she's Dan Walker, or have somebody pretend that she's Dan Walker, and she follows through with her threat. So these are these people. That's why this is important, because you have to understand, when you are being told that hundreds of teachers are being fired at USD from these very same people, and I tell you that that is not true, and they attack me, saying that I'm a liar, that I'm creepy, that I'm all these things, because they don't want you to know the truth. Hundreds of teachers are not being, as a matter of fact, 0 teachers are being fired at PYLUSD. When they want to say that principals and staff are being fired by the hundreds, it's a massacre, as one of them wrote, as I shared with you the other day. It's a massacre that's happening in PYLUSD. And I say maybe 4 at the most. I know of 2 for sure, but maybe 4 principals are their contracts are not being renewed, or they're retiring, or who knows what's happening. That is the least amount of what over the last years. It is as Leander Blades and Sean Youngblood and Todd Frazier have come into this district since 2020. The principals who've resigned and retired and released has gone down every year. It has not been a massacre. Massacre. It has gone down every year. They come on and they say, well, Andy, you're lying about this. That Leander Blades was the cause of the 12 principals being released or retiring, or their contracts not being renewed. She had just gotten in there. She was in the minority. It was these people that were in charge and responsible when those 12 people were resigned or reduced. You had the CTA and the APLE, and you got Carrie Buck and Marilyn Anderson. You still have them that we're fighting against. And that was who was in charge when those 12 principals, 12. Nobody screamed about a massacre. Nobody screamed about a mass firing. These same people that I'm talking about love to create the idea that we are lying to you, that we are somehow horrible, miserable people. When you bring the truth, this is what happens to you. They go to these private groups and they say, this will affect Andy's children and his Falco Canine Academy business. And then they go on to write bad reviews, just like this, and they attack. And then they come on and they say, oh, I hope this people are going to be okay with no issues. They're going to need psychiatric. And they don't talk about how Leander Blades and Sean Youngblood's children have been attacked, or Todd Frazier's have been attacked, and they purposely attacked my children. My daughter was sent videos that they edited and sent them to her, and they made it sound like I was doing something that is completely not true. And then they come on and say, oh my God, he's so horrible. He's such a mean person. But they say nothing about this business, this family who they attack and threaten to hire an attorney when they are simply not able to give the hours to this woman's daughter, and they only look for ways that they can attack people and don't look at the logical sense of what is actually going on. They say this is a massacre in PYLUSD, when in fact this is the furthest thing from a massacre ever happening in our district ever. Again, it has gone down every year as we've been in competent people, and now have a competent superintendent by the name of Dr. Alex Chernis. When we've hired and promoted, I say Isaac, but I know it's pronounced another way, Dr. Isaac Gates, who's now deputy superintendent, who these two voted no. They voted no against our first Black superintendent and his credentials, and say, how could they do that? And they call him horrible names, and they attack him. They said no to our first Asian superintendent, Dr. Olivia Young, who they said no. These same two right here said no to her raise and her promotion, to Olivia, who's been an amazing asset to Dr. Alex Chernis and the school board members. Again, these are the same people. And they attack Bonnie Conte. You got so many people. It's about 10 people that I know of now, maybe 15 people that are consistently attacking, consistently threatening. And so that is why it is important to bring out this issue with the Togos, because it's all the same people. Here they attack Leander Blades and I and say, the creepy guy who lurks in this group and then makes videos about moms and their questions is also buddies with PYLUSD school board member. It's odd to me someone would choose to partake in his show, and then they go on and show this video of us talking about, again, see how it comes around. They like to use these things and these attacks, so they come around and always attack the trustee and the superintendents. And that's who these people are. They hate the truth being exposed. They hate the light on the incompetence in the past administration of PYLUSD. They hate it when we point out the facts when it comes to, hey, these businesses are struggling here in Yorba Linda because of inflation, because of gas prices, because of the minimum wage. But they don't look at it that way. They look at it as reasons to attack the small guy, to the actual working people. They attack police officers. You got the principal over at El Dorado High School who created a hostile environment against police officers. Is the reason why one of the reasons why his contract is most likely not being renewed. I don't even know. They don't tell me either, but I know for a fact that he was investigated for a hostile work environment by the Central Police Department. They attack Leander Blades, who got into a armed confrontation with a man with knives, and they posted on it, well, she shot somebody that had a stick in their hand. She was a police officer working at night while these people were asleep comfy in their beds. And she was being attacked by a man with 2 knives, and she had to protect herself. The man had multiple knives. If he would even drop those 2 knives, he had more knives in his possession, up to 10 knives. They don't look at how amazing it is that a woman like Leander Blades was working in the middle of the night, protecting her community at where she worked at that time in LA. They don't look at that. All they want to do is attack her and call her names and call her a murderer, when in fact, the DA in that particular area who does the investigations, and the police department investigated and found her shooting righteous. A righteous shoot is what we call it in the police department, that it was above board, that it was within policy, that she was protecting herself and the lives of others. But no, they continuously want to attack her for the last several years, and they attack her children. That is why the Togos incident is so important, because these people love to attack. They love to lie. They are hateful people that just have nothing else to do, because they are part of a group of people who do not want the children to be educated. They want something else. And we've been fighting against it for years. So I hope this helps a little bit for you understanding. And again, I'm not in it to change anybody's mind. I'm not going to change their mind. But it's the people that are kind of like watching from afar. You have people that watch and go, wait a minute, isn't Andy a murderer? Is Andy a creepy, horrible person? Wait a minute, is Dr. Alex Chernis, is he actually causing chaos in the PYLUSD? Are there hundreds of teachers being fired because I keep hearing this over and over again? No, the answer is no, none of these things. And that is why these have to be. And here we go. Oh, thank you, PYL Buzz. And so again, we have PYL Buzz who comes on. Thank you. Well, so hey, actually, Marilyn Anderson started on the board at the same time as Blades and Youngblood. You know this though, absolutely. Again, Marilyn Anderson is another tool of the teachers union. Her and Carrie Buck fight against everything. Again, I showed you, maybe you missed it, PYL Buzz. I'm not sure who the admin, maybe somebody will send me a message who the admin for PYL Buzz. It may be Bonnie. I'm not sure. Or is it, let's see, I got so much information. I can't keep up with all the information. Who is there? An Esther, maybe? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe somebody will comment here and let me know who the admin for PYL Buzz is. But Marilyn Anderson voted no against Olivia Young. Marilyn Anderson voted no against Isaac Gates, Dr. Isaac Gates. Marilyn Anderson voted no against the lights at El Dorado High School. Marilyn Anderson is a puppet. There's all kinds of, I'm trying, there's other names I want to use. And so I'm going to withhold. She is incompetent. If you've ever heard her give her, what she's done throughout a month, her review of what she's done, it is silliness. She gets her writing, she gets her comments written for her because she's obviously not bright enough to be able to say the things that she does, and she doesn't make any sense. She shushes the superintendent. She hates the superintendent. We've seen it in emails, which I see your other comment. I'm going to bring that up too. She again, Marilyn Anderson is inconsequential. It's only Leander Blades, Todd Frazier, Sean Youngblood who make a difference on the school board. Marilyn Anderson is a joke. Here, PYL Buzz, Edmund writes, Chernis was caught leaking his own email. Capable is not a word used. Do you see what we're talking about? I'm so thankful for PYL Buzz. Thank you. Can you comment more, please? Was no leak. I'm not sure if you know what a FOIA is, PYL Buzz, but a member of the community put in a FOIA request, which is done all the time. I did a FOIA request 2 years ago, and got information sent to me by Elsasser or Matthews, both incompetent boobs, by the way. Matthews, who is a history teacher, believed that the United States is a democracy. That's the kind of person you had running your district. So you have a FOIA request, which is sent in, and the FOIA has to be responded to. Freedom of Information Act, by the way. And so the Freedom of Information Act is a tool that is used to get whatever information that is being held within the government agencies, and it could be any agency, the police department for certain cases and incidents and that kind of stuff. A FOIA request was sent into Tennessee, I believe it was, for the agenda of the shooter and the LGBTQ shooter, the transvestite shooter, of her suicide note. And that was a FOIA. Nobody wanted to release that. The police didn't release it, but because the FOIA is a powerful way to get information, it had to be released. Same thing. Dr. Alex has to, with certain options on occasion, I believe. I think there's some things that don't have to be released. Again, if it has to do with, I think, employment, I don't believe a FOIA response is required under those circumstances. But surely emails and text messages fall. Many of them, again, it depends on what's discussed, and maybe they have to be redacted in some ways. But a FOIA request is required. So PYL Buzz admin, I don't know how to help you with this. He didn't leak. This is what they use. They use a word. This is all over the place, by the way, in these private groups. That's why these screenshots have to be brought out into the public, because this is what they do in these private groups, is all over the place. They're saying Dr. Chernis, and we have some respect for him. Don't just call him Chernis. Dr. Alex Chernis did not leak his own emails. Dr. Chernis responded to a FOIA request that was made and released them into the community. I've seen them all. Another FOIA was brought in for all my emails to the school district, by the way. And when those are released, you're not gonna say, oh my gosh, he released all of Andy's emails, how horrific. No, you're gonna say, oh my gosh, thank God we were able to use that FOIA request. Do you see how this works? When it goes against what you want, you say that he leaked it, but as soon as you get what it is you want, you're gonna say, thank God we had FOIA. Thank God I thought of that all on my own. No, they just saw what somebody was able to do, and now they're going after all my emails to the school district, which I don't mind. I could care less. As a matter of fact, I would be glad if you would post them all into the private groups. Post all my emails to the school district, even back with Matthews and El Sasser. Not sure if they're doctors or not. Who knows? Who cares? They don't act like doctors because they're not very bright. Yvonne says, what does Marilyn being hired at the time as Blades and Youngblood have to do with, hired at the time with Blades and Youngblood have to do with anything? Yvonne, I don't know either. Thank you. Oh yeah, there you go. She says, I don't know. And again, PYL Buzz and Min, maybe this is the only thing they can do, is they somehow can create a Facebook page, but they don't understand. They don't understand logic. This is the problem. Yvonne, can you be a dumber PY? Thank you, Yvonne. PYL Buzz. Oh, we know what a FOIA request is. Don't worry about us. Then why would you? Okay, listen. See, this is it. I'm so grateful for PYL Buzz. So PYL Buzz in one see, this is what they do. In one comment writes, Chernis was caught cheating or leaking his own email. He writes, Chernis was caught leaking his own email. And then she writes, we know what a FOIA request is. Don't worry about us. If you knew what a FOIA request was, then you wouldn't say that he was leaking his emails. And I'm being really good. I'm just going to put what Yvonne wrote. Can you be any dumber? Yes, I'm reading the comment. I didn't say that. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. P-Wall. Keep coming. Remember that one. Yes. Apparently she's praying to whatever her God is, Yvonne. And that would be scary. I think that's kind of like a voodoo doll. She's praying for you. POL Buzz, we will. And I don't know, I think release my emails. I've sent my emails. I mean, I've made my emails. I've read my emails publicly. So, I don't really care. But it'd be great. And I would really appreciate that, PYL Buzz, that you would do that. Again, I'm not sure of all the exact parameters, but there are some things. I did talk about certain employees. So if you don't get them, PYL Buzz, contact me. I will be happy to release my emails to you. But if you want to come on the show and discuss this, that would be great. So is an email sent and email leaked? I guess so. Thank you, Ben. Have you thought? I'm going to make this a couple of minutes long. I'm up to 40 minutes and my wife has already called me twice. But this is way too much. PYL Buzz, what else you got for me? Have I thought what? Can you expand on that? Have I thought? Have I thought what? Because here you got, here you have, again, you got Tamara Evans Converse, who gives out the command to attack my business and to attack my children. And then you had somebody responding to that command. So I know what you guys do. So I'm not sure, PYL Buzz, what it is. What are you now coming after me with a terrorist threat? Are you coming after me any other way? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. I just please give me more information. Here we go. An email printed and then screenshot is an email linked to. Leaked to. I don't know. I don't understand. Be a little bit more descriptive. So you're saying that because of the FOIA that the community member made, that Dr. Alex Chernies responded to as he's required by law, that person took a screenshot and shared it in the private group. So again, here we begin. They're saying that things in the private group are leaked in the private group. But what I did was sharing the information from the group was also bad. Because why? In a group of 5,000 people, you don't think that would affect that business? You don't think that maybe having 2 or 3 less customers a day at the Togos because of what the woman wrote about hiring an attorney because they're such horrible people that they fired her daughter, and then she makes a claim which she can't even say is true, that they fired her because of retaliation. Those are pretty harsh words and an attack on this family that is unwarranted. But you find it okay that they go after my business. Sorry about that. I left that up and forgot to take it down. So that's okay. So again, we're going to go PYL Buzz. It's okay for Converse. What's her name again? Converse to attack me in a post and then have somebody respond to it and write a 1. It's not even a person who is a customer. So now I have a bad review, a 1 that's a worse experience, which they have no experience with my company, right? They're attacking me because of about my show, where I expose these people who are lying in private groups, that I expose the attacks on a family in our community. I expose that. So she goes and attacks my business with a name of somebody that does not even know anything about my business. That's okay, PYL Bus. You think that's okay? Okay. Kareen says, PYL Buzz missed their nap. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I almost forgot. Now do Blue Scoop. All right, so great. So there's that is fantastic. I'm so glad you brought up Blue Scoop, because here we had an incident, again, in private groups, which I'm fully aware of, that I was made aware of, that the owner of Blue Scoop, and I don't remember her name, but I have the screenshots, said something negative about the school board members, or about the executive staff over at the PYL-USD, and bought into the lie that hundreds of teachers are being fired, that hundreds of admin are being fired again, which is not happening. There is none of these things are happening, and the owner furthered the lie in a post. If I'm getting this wrong, somebody let me know. But this is the gist of the whole thing. So, as can happen, people who have now been attacked for 4 or 5 years, 6 years, are very sensitive to the fact that hundreds of people, not hundreds, that several people throughout the years have continued to lie about what is actually happening at PYLUSD. Decided that because now owner is now piled on, or again, a business owner can be a respected person, much like a teacher, much like a principal, much like a superintendent, where they have a little bit more status. And so you have a business owner who has a little bit more status in our community saying something very negative about the trustees and the executive staff. So this community member decided, you know what, I'm going to write a bad review, or I'm going to post something on my social media saying, you know what, this is what happened with Blue Scoop owner. She did this thing. So here's the difference between what we're talking about here is that we can make mistakes. As a Christian, we understand that we're sinners. We understand that we can speak out of line. We can say things that we shouldn't say. That's why I'm really trying not to call these people names. I'm trying. It's not very, you should hear what's going on in my head right now. But this is, so these couple, I don't know how many it was, 2 or 3, decided that they were going to say, you know what, that's not right. As the owner of Blue Scoop, you're saying it's not true. And so, you know what, we're no longer going to get Blue Scoop. And then what logical people do, what people with common sense and morals, with morals, unlike the people that I just pointed out, is that we go, you know what, I kind of jumped the gun. You know, I like Blue Scoop. Or we even had some people say, you know what, I'm not a really big fan of Blue Scoop, but it isn't right to attack them for their political views, which a number of them did. I'm saying we as a community will sometimes become sensitive and say, you know, we're not going to use this because of your political views for a moment. And then we go, you know what, that's separate. They're business owners. They have employees. They have family. And we're going to separate your political views, being nice, your political views. I'm going to put this back up. Political views. And we're going to say, you know what, I take it back. And that's what people with morals, with a conscience, with common sense, who are not stupid, that's what they do. They realize that, you know what, dang it, my flesh got the best of me. For a moment, I attacked this business owner because I didn't agree with what they said. I'm going to resend it, which, as far as I know, everybody that wrote something bad, either in a Yelp review or Google review or whatever it was, I don't remember all the issues, that they rescinded them. They took them back because they have morals, they have common sense, they have decency, and they realized, for a moment, I lost cool. My flesh got the best of me, and I'm going to take it back. Myself, because of what I heard went on, I went the next day to an event at Blue Scoop. Because of what I heard went on, Leander Blades went to Blue Scoop. Because of what we heard went on, a number of other people that jumped the gun in their flesh went to Blue Scoop and participated in a fundraiser at Blue Scoop. Thank you, PYL Buzz, for bringing that up, is that a momentary lapse in judgment can occur, but people immediately, or very close to immediately, can also, who have morals and common sense and decency, can change their tune and calm down and decide, you know what, that probably was not the right thing to do. And we all went to Blue Scoop and participated and supported them as a business. We don't agree with the owner's views on some things. I'm sure I don't agree. Again, I don't even necessarily know what she said. I heard about it. And then I heard what happened. And so I immediately went the next day to Blue Scoop and bought me and my son. We sat there and ate Blue Scoop. We saw a bunch of Brookhaven teachers there and said hi to them. We all laughed and smiled and said hello, and saw a bunch of other people there, and everything was fantastic. So thank you for letting us know about Blue Scoop there, PYL Buzz, because that's a perfect example of how adults handle these types of situations. Again, sometimes we slip up. Sometimes we say things and we go, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. I probably should have thought before acting, thought before typing, thought before texting. And that happens all the time. Have you never done that with your spouse or one of your friends or a colleague at work? Is that you snap at them and then you go back and go, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. I should have just went home and kicked my dog. Sorry, dogs. Except your wife left a nasty review on Yelp. Would you like a screenshot? You can send a screenshot. I think she actually took it down. It was up for maybe 2 hours, as far as I know, because somebody brought it to my attention. It was taken down and it no longer exists. So again, you just make my point. You can make a screenshot all you want and you can share that out, but it no longer exists in Yelp where it's important. It doesn't bring down Blue Scoop's reviews on Yelp because it no longer exists. But PYL Buzz will do, the admin of one of these private groups. This is where you got to understand, if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I got in these and I got a lunatic running these groups and taking people out if they don't think like them. They take people out if they don't agree with them. They take people out if they speak truth and talk about the truth about what's happening in PYL Buzz or PYL USD, and yet they hang on to a screenshot and they'll share that out and say, "Look at this! This is what they did." Yeah, but it no longer exists. Again, in the flesh, in the moment, a lot of things are done all the time, and then we catch ourselves and we remove them. It is I've found the group of people that, again, this is the majority, or else I wouldn't have Wonder Blades and Sean Youngblood and Todd Frazier in the school board if there wasn't a majority of community members who agree with them. But you got this small handful of people who love to try to do everything they can to discredit them, to lie about them, to say that they're horrible people, that Dr. Chernin and Isaac and Olivia or horrible people, nasty people. They don't deserve me. And then bring up Marilyn was one of the guys. Well, she was one of us for a day. she was one of us for a day. And then they're hoping that some of it's going to hold on. Again, the majority of people in the community across the PYL USD voted for those three members. They love what's happening with the current superintendent, executive staff. And on occasion, we may make a mistake. We being this part of the community, we may say something wrong. We may call somebody a name and then later on regret that we called them a name. Sometimes. But what's so interesting is that PYL Buzz admin page loves to only continue the lies and kicks people out if they don't believe the lies. They kick the people out if they don't go along with what they said. Well, she's very busy. Aren't you against messing with local business, just trying to support their families? Yeah. Is that a question? Perhaps focus on your own home before coming for someone else's. Whose business did I come after? Whose business? Is PYL Buzz your business? I am so sorry. I didn't know that was your business. Except it did not win by a majority. Leander Blades, are you on? Is that true? You didn't win? Oh, what happened? Did you steal the election? All right. Did you apologize to Blue Scoop? I didn't do anything to Blue Scoop. Why would I apologize to them? Blue Scoop. I don't know. She's repeating that. Why do I need to apologize to them? What did I do? I went in there and bought ice cream and I supported their fundraiser. Would you like the election totals? We can provide that. Go ahead. I would love to see the election totals. The Electoral College, I don't believe affects school boards. Nope, I'm pretty sure. So I would like to understand this, but that would be great. This is the first time. Why are you now just bringing? Is this something? I mean, this could have been brought up 3 years ago. I understand that you, POL Buzz, and just I don't know why you don't put your name. Put your name and face behind what it is you're saying. You don't mind calling Leandra a murderer. You don't mind calling her an insurrectionist. Why would you withhold this information that she really didn't win the election? You're an election there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the election actually occurred. And I'm sure that that Leandra would have found out at least by now. Didn't really win the election, but that's news to, I think, everybody. Text her. Okay. All right. What did the other person get? 49? If she got 50 and the person got 49, and then she won. So I'm not, again. Oh, there she is. There were 4 people running. It wasn't head to head. They don't understand that I had the highest percentage of. Again, these aren't the brightest people that we're dealing with. And I've learned that when Leandra Blades, was running, when I was in the school board meetings before anybody else was in there. I'm just going to keep this up so people can, most people understand that. Most people, even people that went to public school, understand when there's 4 people, the one who has the most votes wins, which means that they're probably not going to get 50%. Now they could, right? They could get 50% and then the other 3 people split the other 50%. That could happen. But a lot of people don't understand this. They don't understand math. They don't understand basic economics when it comes to running a business. This woman, this Jen chick, who says that, well, they need to keep my daughter, even though they can't afford it. They need to go under and they need to close their doors just so long as they keep my daughter. So what are they supposed to pay your daughter after they close their doors and they can't afford it? See, they don't understand math. They don't understand common sense. They don't understand they're just really dumb people. And I'm so sorry. Again, this is just the example. Everything that she said about Afoya, she said that he leaked them, but then she goes, we know everything about Afoya in the last couple minutes. No. Now she's stomping her feet. I can see Placentia Buzz admin laying on the ground, kicking her feet. No, she did not. And, have you ever seen that your little kid, do that when they get really upset, that they've been shown that they are just making crap up. When you have 4 people running, it is a large possibility that one of them will not get 50%. That happens all the time. Yvonne's sore losers. All right. Well, it's been fun. PYL Buzz admin page. I really did not intend to be on hour, but it was great talking to you. If you have any more nonsense that you want to feel like you want to put on there, I would appreciate it. If anybody knows who PYL Buzz admin is, I would love to know who that is. I'm sure I want to say I don't know if it's Bonnie or not. Who knows? We PYL Yorbalina Moms, she's the admin for that. Very similar in understanding of how life works. So it's possible. I don't know. I don't know what she means by this. So I'll just put this up again. 38% of the vote. That is not a mandate. If she won by the most votes out of 4 people, she wins the election. So I'm really, again, who knows? Maybe admin page has never been around an election before. I'm not sure if she understands life, much less how election works. All right, my friends, I got to get out. My wife's going to kill me. All right, my friends, we love you. Again, I got news that these people kicked her out of Yorbalina Moms. Oh yeah, Ben has a great question. I know he meant the right vote. So contact OC Vote. They can explain it for you. PYL Buzz admin page, whoever you are. Ben's great suggestion there. Go to OC Vote, and they will definitely help you out with that. All right, my friends. Love you guys. Well, I even pray for PYL Buzz. I pray to the big G God, not whoever she votes for or prays to, but the big God that is Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. I pray for everybody. Love you all. God bless you. And I have to do this more often. I have to have more fun. All right, my friends. Love you guys. God bless. Take care.